Who are made you the host.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Welcome all to the Nityam Bhagavata Seva. Today we'll hear the nectar from His Grace Madhava Prabhu, and the shloka is from 4, Canto 4, Chapter 30, and shloka number 30. Over to you, Madhava Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Om Ajnana-timirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Ena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarini. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. First of all, I would like to take the blessings of all the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. And thank you for giving the opportunity to speak on Srimad Bhagavatam. So today we are covering the shloka, 4th canto, 30th chapter, 30th verse. And the chapter is entitled as the activities of the Prachetas. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Verse 30. Asaveva varosmakam ipsito jagatapate prasanno bhagavanesham apavarga gururgati. Translation: O Lord of the universe, you are the actual teacher of the science of devotional service. We are satisfied that your Lordship is the ultimate goal of our lives, and we pray that you will be satisfied with us. That is our benediction. We do not desire anything other than your full satisfaction. Purport by His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. In this verse, the words Apavarga Gurur Gati are very insignificant. According to Srimad Bhagavatam 1.2.11, the Supreme Lord is the ultimate fact of the absolute truth. Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagavan iti sabdyate. The absolute truth is realized in 3 features: impersonal Brahman, localized Paramatma, and ultimately the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhagavan. The word Apavarga means liberation. Pavarga means material existence. In material existence, one always works very hard but is untimely baffled. One then dies and has to accept another body to work very hard again. This is the cycle of material existence. Apavarga means just the opposite. Instead of working hard like cats and dogs, one returns home back to Godhead. Liberation begins with merging into the Brahman effulgence of the Supreme Lord. This conception is held by the Jnani Sampradaya, philosophical speculators, but realization of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is higher. When a devotee understands that the Lord is satisfied, liberation or merging into the effulgence of the Lord is not very difficult. One has to approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead through the impersonal Brahman effulgence, just as one has to approach the sun through sunshine. It is not very difficult to merge into the impersonal effulgence of the Lord Brahman if one has satisfied the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna. So, in this section of Srimad Bhagavatam, in this particular verse, the Supreme Lord is mentioned as the ultimate truth. Vadanti tat tattva vidas tattvam yajnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavan iti sabdyate. So the absolute truth has three features. First one is the Brahman feature, second one is the Paramatma, and third one is the Bhagavan. So Brahman is, it's like we have sunshine, then the sun globe, and then sun god Vivaswan himself. So the less intelligent people, they think the absolute truth as the light. So Brahma Satya, Jagan Mithya. So the Jnani Sampradaya, philosophical speculators, they think absolute truth as light or Brahma Jyoti. But next level, the yogis, they think absolute truth as Paramatma in the heart, or Paramatma who is situated everywhere in every atom. And bhaktas realize the Supreme Personality of Godhead has Bhagavan, or who is having Satchidananda Rupa, Ishvara Parama Krishna, Satchidananda Vigraha, Anadir Adir Govinda, Sarvakarana Karanam. So there is another verse which explains about the absolute truth that's mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Panchatattva Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam. So here in this particular verse, actually absolute truth is the Supreme Personality of Godhead Sri Krishna. We see in the first shloka, first canto, first chapter, that Janmadhyasya Yataha. So Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But Krishna in Kali Yuga has come in the form of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So as different, absolute truth in the 5 different features. Bhakta Rupa means Gauranga himself, who has come in the form of his own devotee. Krishna coming in the form of his own devotee, Bhakta Rupa. And then we have first expansion, who is Nityananda Prabhu. Then we have plenary expansion, who is Advaita Prabhu. Then internal energy, Gadadhar Prabhu. And then marginal energy, who is Jiva Tattva or Jiva Mas, who is represented by Srivas Thakur. So actually, this 5 features on the absolute platform, they are one, but simultaneously there is difference also. So that is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told it is a Achintya Beda Abheda Tattva, because on the absolute platform, Bhakti, Bhakta and Bhagavan, so they are on this, they are on the absolute platform, they are similar. But at the same time, there is difference also. So in that aspect, if we see, first 3 are the predominators. 2 Prabhus, Nityananda Prabhu and Advaita Prabhu, and 1 Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And other 2 are the energy category. Who is the Gadadhar Prabhu is the internal energy, and then Srivas Thakur is the marginal energy. So energies are unlimited. Energies of the Lord are unlimited. Parasya Shaktir Vividhaiva Sruyate. So unlimited, Achintya Shakti Lord is having. And another, in this particular purport, Srila Prabhupada is mentioning about Apavarga. So what is Apavarga? It's a path of liberation, path of transcendental realization. And just the opposite is the Pravarga, or the material existence. suffering of the material existence. So Srila Prabhupada would say this pa varga, the each syllable has each word, and there is some definition for that. Pa, pa, bha, ba, ma, pa varga. So there's a this constitute the perfect definition of the material existence. Pa means what? Parishrama or parabhava. So parishrama means hard labor, and parabhava means defeat. So pa refers both. Actually, hard labor means what? We see how much the materialistic persons are struggling outside for one job. They are working 14 hours, 16 hours a day, just to fulfill the basic needs of the body, and to keep the body and mind and soul together. So much of parishrama they do. And even after they are doing so many things, they are defeated, parabhava. So we see in Mumbai trains and other metro and buses, how much struggle they are doing. So by doing this parishrama, what happens? Extreme parishrama, just a fena, foams. We see horses, how the foam comes when heavy load is put on that, and the owner is whipping and beating, and there is extreme exhaustion. So exhaust, and in the similar way, all the materialists, they are trying to be the enjoyers of material nature, but they are exhausted in doing that, but still they don't want to give up. And ba means bhartya or vyartha or the bandha. Vyartha means frustration, bandha means bondage. So bondage basically refers to the karma bandhana. The loss of karma binds the living entity and makes it go through the cycle of birth and death. So yajnartart karmano nyatra lokoyam karma bandhana. So Vishnu is the Yajneshwara. So one has to understand and do the sacrifice for his pleasure. So Jivatma has to realize this. Then when he does the yajna or the supreme yajna, which is Harinama Sankirtan, one can be freed. And the fourth one is the bhaya, or fear. So what is exactly bhaya? So when we turn away from Krishna, we get fear. So bhayam dvitiya abhinivesha syad. So actually when we separate abhinivesha and we separate ourselves from Krishna, then it gives rise to fear. So Srila Prabhupada was called as Abhay Charan. He was fearless. And the last one is the mrityu, death. So this whole world is called Martyaloka, place of death. So everybody is afraid of death. Why? Because all materialistic persons think that the body is the means by which they can do sense gratification. And if they lose the body, that means they cannot do further sense gratification. That's why they fear death. But when we give up the desire for sense gratification, we become fearless. So devotees are always fearless because they are not involved in sense gratification. So devotee is not afraid of death. Anytime the death comes, the devotee is ready because his consciousness is fixed on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So in this way, the whole material existence is, defined in these 5 pavarga syllables. And when mrityu happens, one goes to the another body again to work very hard. Srila Prabhupada explains it here. So one dies, then has to accept another body to work hard again, and the cycle repeats, repeated cycle of birth and death, and then again parishrama, again fena, and then again he gets bound, bandha, then again fear, bhaya happens, then mrityu. This cycle is going on. But apavarga is quite opposite. That means instead of working hard, you surrender to Krishna and get liberated. Jnanis, they understand liberation as different thing. That's what is mentioned, merging into the effulgence of the Lord. But if still they approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead and satisfy Him, then still they can get that liberation. But devotees are not aspiring for that particular liberation. So devotee approach the Lord as dasa. So that's what prachetas here they do. What they are asking, they are not. They do not want any material benedictions. They want to serve. So that's why Jnanis, they don't know the higher realization, the Bhagavan realization. Now, Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavan iti sabjate. Bhagavan realization, they don't know. So that's the reason Jiva Goswami says this going to the spiritual world is better than the best. Is the best of the best. So prachetas are devotees. That's why they want to make Lord happy. And that is the goal of the devotee also. Anyabhilashita shunyam jnana karma di anavratam anukulena krishnanushilanam bhaktiruttama. So somehow we try to please the Lord. That's pure bhakti. Anya abhilashita shunyam. So essence of bhakti is that it is free from jnana and karma and without any ulterior motives. And when we do this, naturally the Lord becomes happy and he becomes satisfied. And when the Lord is satisfied, he starts reciprocating with the devotee. He wants to give something to devotee back. So he would like to give some benedictions and help the devotee to progress in the path of pure devotional service so that the devotee can become pure devotee. So here in the shloka, it's mentioned Lord as Apavarga Guru. Apavarga means it refers to the pure process of bhakti, and Lord is the teacher of this pure devotional service and is also the goal, final goal. So Lord is giver of the bhakti. It's natural that prachetas pray in this way, that we want to please you. We do not desire anything other than your full satisfaction. In the next verse, Lord is referred as Ananta. Ananta means who is unlimited. He is having unlimited qualities, unlimited opulences. He's having he exhibits unlimited pastimes. So here devotees in all aspect, they know the unlimited qualities. I mean, the Lord is having unlimited qualities, all the things, and they want to serve Lord and they want to please the Lord by appreciating his divine name, divine form, divine pastimes, and in according to that, they can experience the different they will get the different services also, and in sequence they get the different realizations also. That is because when the Lord is pleased, the devotees automatically become pleased. That is the mercy of the Lord. When Lord is pleased, automatically the devotee will be happy. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that this Guru gives the bhakti lata. So Brahmanda Brahmite kaun bhagyavan jeev Guru Krishna prasade pai bhakti lata bij. So at the time of initiation, Guru gives the bhakti lata bij. So the disciple should carefully guard this and water it, and the Bhakti Lata creeper grows, and ultimately it reaches the lotus feet of Supreme Personality of Godhead in the spiritual world, and it starts giving the flower and fruits. And what is that fruit? Devotee is able to relish the fruit. That fruit is he experiences the supreme bliss. Actually, that is not the desire of the devotee to be in, get the supreme bliss. Devotee tries to please the Supreme Lord, and when the Supreme Lord is pleased, naturally he bestows this bliss. So this is the way the devotee experiences the bliss. And this verse explains this. Actually, devotee does not endeavor separately for such kind of byproducts. But since they try to selflessly serve, and they do not desire anything other than pleasing the Lord, then the Lord bestows that, because the nature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is always in bliss, and he bestows the devotee also the bliss. And here it is also mentioned, he is the giver of the bhakti. So that's why here Lord is referred as Apavarga Guru. And another word Prachetas are using, that is Jagatpate. But this recognizes the Lord as creator, maintainer, and destroyer. But we have to understand this is little bit lesser realizations, because it is related more towards the function of Paramatma feature of the Lord, or the Vishnu feature, where it is related more to Kshirodakashai Vishnu, Garbhodakashai Vishnu. So devotees are always concerned about the Bhagavan feature. So that is why here it is also mentioned Bhagavan Esham. So Bhagavan, when Bhagavan is there, then the relationship is there, the Sambandha, Abhideya and Prayojana. So when Bhagavan is coming into picture, that means there is a relationship involved, relationship between the devotee and the Lord. But when the creator, maintainer, and the destroyer aspect is involved, then the devotee is having respect attitude, because Krishna is having unlimited qualities, and this creation, maintenance, these are the functional qualities of the Lord. But devotees are interested not in the functional qualities, but they are interested in the personal qualities of the Lord. What are the personal qualities? Krishna is the Bhakta Vatsala. Krishna is Nanda Nandana, Gopijana Vallabha. So Dina Dayal, he is very merciful. So this aspect of the Lord, these qualities give pleasure to the devotees. So when devotional attitude is there, then naturally the devotees' worship is towards Bhagavan. So the Lord here is mentioned as Bhagavan. Bhagavan Esham, Prasanno Bhagavan Esham, Apavargo Gururgati. So Srila Prabhupada gives the example of relationship. When the male is there and the female is there, when they are separate, actually they are undergoing suffering. This, however, everybody undergoes suffering. This mamupetya punarjanma dukhalayam ashashvatam. So but when they are separate, they are undergoing more suffering. But when they are coming together and serving the Lord together, and in that relationship, keeping Krishna in the center, they will feel the transcendental happiness. Devotees, they can derive the ananda. So the conclusion is that spiritual life, when we have mercy of the Lord, we can advance in the spiritual life also. And when the relationship is more and more with the Lord and devotees each other, then one derives the transcendental happiness when Krishna is in the center. So that's why another name of Krishna is Mukunda. So he is the giver of liberation. So when devotees satisfy the Lord, as here Prachetas they are telling, they want to satisfy the Lord. Similarly, when devotees try to satisfy the Lord, Lord awards the liberation. And this is the byproduct of Shuddha Bhakti. So liberation, moksha laguta krit. So whatever four types of liberation which even the devotees they get, sarupya, salokya, whatever, they are the byproducts of Shuddha Bhakti, pure devotional service. So Prachetas they are telling that you are the teacher, you are the actual teacher of the science of devotional service, O Lord of the universe. So we can understand Krishna's aspect as the teacher of bhakti. He is the Chaitya Guru within the heart, as Paramatma he is guiding inside. And outside also he comes as Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The Chaitya Guru is manifested outside as Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he personally comes and teaches how to perform devotional service. So, perceiving the Paramatma inside the heart may be difficult. Maybe one has to perform, Ashtanga yoga, yogis they perform to see super soul within the heart, or even in the impure state, one may not be able to hear the voice of Paramatma. So many things are there, but outside, Lord is helping through different means. As Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he came to give the prema bhakti and freely distribute it. Prema pumartho mahan. And there are Guru Tattva, the different gurus who are helping. And Balaram is the original guru. So Balaram, first expansion of Lord Krishna is Lord Balaram. And Lord Balaram, he is having so much of service attitude towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In various incarnations, he is always serving the Lord. In all five rasas he serves. And he is expanding, Balram is expanding as the whole spiritual world, Goloka Vrindavan Dham. And he is serving Krishna, as well as he is showing compassion to all the various jivas. He is holding these Vrindavans, the spiritual abode. And in the material world, as Ananta Shesha, he is holding different universes. So he is very, very merciful, Lord Balaram. So he is come as Lord Nityanand. Brajendra Nandana hoy, Sachi Sutta hoilo se, Balaram hoilo Nitai. So he is the source of all spiritual knowledge, Lord Nityananda. So, and everything, this is all knowledge comes from Lord Balaram or Lord Nityananda. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is the perfect teacher. And in the Chaitanya Bhagavata or different scriptures, we see how one has to follow different Vaishnava etiquettes. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is teaching through his various parshadas or devotees how to develop different qualities, different etiquettes. So there are, or Balram is the original guru, and we have his representatives who are Diksha gurus or Shiksha gurus, who are helping us in various ways to progress in the path of pure devotional service. And one of the very important thing we learn here is when the teacher teaches, or when the guru teaches, one has to be very humble. Humility, quality of humility. Trinadapi sunichena tarorapi sahishnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. So mango tree, it bends down when it is full of fruits. So in the similar way, the humble one who is having full knowledge, he is very humble. Even in the third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is mentioned, Titikshava karunika surada sarvadehinam ajatra shatrava shanta sadava sadhu bhushana. So the ornament of the devotee, that is humble. When one has prema, love for Krishna in the heart, then he is naturally very humble. That's a ornament on the body of the devotee, that quality of humility. So the aspiring devotee must develop this quality. So that's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling, giving the example of grass, more humbler than the grass and more tolerant than the tree. So Krishna is very, very merciful. He is sending so many of his representatives, and he is giving us the Shastra, Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. So sadhus are teaching us, Guru, they are teaching us. Then Shastra we have. Srila Prabhupada has mercifully written Bhakti Vedanta purports. He's having so much of compassion for all of us. So he has given this Shastra, Bhakti Vedanta purports, Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita. So many things to do study. So Srila Prabhupada, he exhibited so much of compassion, so much of humility. So we should also imbibe these qualities of compassion. Whenever possible, do book distribution, preach others, and when humility we have to develop. So when we are chanting, I'm not getting tears in the eyes. Nayanam galadashrudharaya vadanam gadgada ruddhaya gira pulakay nichitam vapukkada tavanama grahane bhavishyati. So yugaitam nimishena chakshusha pravrashahitam shunyaitam jagat sarvam govinda virahena me. So when I'm chanting, I'm not feeling Govinda viraha. I'm not feeling the viraha bhav from Govinda. So I'm so much unfortunate. Durdaivam idrisham ihajani nanuragaha. I am so unfortunate when I'm chanting. Tears are not flowing from my eyes. I am not feeling yugaitam nimishena. I have so much false pride within the heart. My heart is like steel or rock, which does not melt when I chant the holy name, and tears does not flow from my eyes. So that's why we have to develop this primary quality of being humble, humility. So even in the previous ages, we had Gurukula system. So first one of the main quality that Gurukul, their students have to develop is the obedience. So obedience means, in one sense, it's kind of, you have to have little bit of humility to be obedient to your teacher or guru. So this quality of humility is like the thing that which holds the seed of prema. So when a bhakti lata beej is given and it starts sprouting, and it has to grow. When it starts growing, then humility is the one which holds it. And when humility holds it, then the root can go deeper and deeper. So our bhakti can go deeper. If humility does not hold the bhakti lata, then bhakti cannot go deeper. So roots have to go deeper, then the bhakti lata grows very strongly. So that's why humility is the one which holds the seed. And gratitude is the another quality where gratitude, it makes the ground fertile. When the ground is fertile, then the lata can grow very fast. Then chanting and hearing is like watering the bhakti lata. So when we continuously chant with attention and hear Krishna Katha regularly, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, now then it is like watering the bhakti lata. Then the bhakti lata grows. And definitely when bhakti lata grows, there are so many weeds also will grow. So the practitioner has to be very, very careful to guard the bhakti lata. Otherwise, these anarthas or different aparadas which are might be happening can uproot the bhakti lata. When one offends or one does Vaishnava aparad, it's like Hati Mata aparad. So it can completely uproot the bhakti lata, and one's spiritual life gets completely destroyed. So one has to be very, very careful when guarding this bhakti lata. So that's why Shuddha Bhakti is very, very rare. So, Durlabo Manusho Janmo Dehinam Kshanabhangura Tatrapi Durlabham Manye Vaikunta Priyadarshan. Human life itself is very, very rare. And in Srimad Bhagavatam it is said, more rarer than that is the association of pure devotees. Vaikunta Priyadarshan. Vaikunta Priya means those who are very dear to Lord, who are pure devotees of the Lord. Tatrapi durlabham manye. So more rarer than getting the human life is to get the association of pure devotees of the Lord. So it is very, very rare. Pure devotees are very, very rare. We may find so many mixed devotees. Jnana Mishra Bhaktas, Karma Mishra Bhaktas. So, but pure devotees are very rare. So that's why our aspiration should be to become pure devotee, free from jnana, karma, and yoga. Yoga Mishra Bhakti, Jnana Mishra Bhakti, Karma Mishra Bhakti. We should become free from that. Bhukti, Mukti, Siddhi, Kami, Sakala, Ashanta, Krishna Bhakta, Nikshkama, Ataeva Shanta. So all this bhukti, enjoyment, bhoga vritti, we have to become free, sense gratification. Mukti Kama, or Siddhi Kama, so many siddhis one might get. So one has to become free from all these, different type of kama and become nishkama, Krishna Bhakta Nishkama, Ataeva Shanta. So when Bhakti Lata is growing in this way, so the consciousness also it is growing inside. And first it will be achadita chetana. Achadita chetana means it's very shrunk consciousness. Then sankuchita chetana. Then it is little bit blooming. Because we see in Bhagavad Gita when the different layers of kama, and out of that, the kama, when it is compared to the smoke covered by fire, fire covered by the smoke, that kind of this one, that means it is referring to human beings. So human being, that means when really one comes to the platform of human being, that means he has started the process of devotional service. At least he is thinking atato brahma jijnasa. So when he is come to that platform, from there his consciousness has to bloom. Then achadita chetana, sankuchita chetana, then mukulita chetana. So then it is blooming more. Then it is vikasita. It is then purna vikasita. So Purna Vikasita or Fullita Chetana, one's consciousness is completely bloomed. That means he has attained the prema. That is the highest perfection of the life. But here the main barrier is the final barrier is what? Is the false ego, Mithya Ahankar. So even when we become devotees, if we are stuck in the false ego layer, because we, even this material world is like a prison house, and the last layer is the false ego. So purification of the senses, it happens when Rashikena Rashikesha Sevanam Bhaktir Uchate. When you engage the senses in the service of the Lord, naturally the senses becomes purified. And purification of the mind becomes by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So purification of the mind by chanting of the holy name. Cheto Darpana Marjanam Bhava Mahadhavagni Nirvapanam. Then purification of the intelligence happens by hearing Krishna Katha and reading Srila Prabhupada's book Swadhyaya. Intelligence becomes sharper and pure. So finally, the purification is the most challenging one, is the purification of the false ego. Even when we become devotees, we try to commit so many aparadhas, sometimes knowingly, unknowingly. If some Prabhuji comes and tells what you are doing is wrong, then the devotee tells, how can you tell this one to me? You know who I am. I have been practicing devotional service for 25 years. Or you cannot tell this to me. Because purification of the false ego happens only in the association of devotees. So purification of mind intelligence, it can be happening when we are sitting and doing. But purification of the false ego, we need the mercy of the devotees. It happens in the association of devotees. By the mercy of devotees, purification of the false ego can happen. Of course, all other things also we need the association of devotees, but mainly purification of the false ego. So when one is completely free from false ego, and when he is realizing the true ego as Jivera Swarupoi Krishnera Nityadas, I am the Dasa, I am the servant of the servant, Gopi Bhartu Padakamalayor Dasa Dasanudasa. I am Dasa Dasanudasa of all the Vaishnavas. I am servant of all the devotees assembled in the temple or in various places. When one realizes, not theoretically understanding, when he realizes this fact that he is the servant of servant, then the real ego, true ego as the servant is manifested. At that time, one can access the transcendental things. The kripa of the Lord flows. That prasadam adhigacchati. Ragadvesha vimuktaistu vishayan indriyais charan. So that shloka where Krishna says that prasadam adhigacchati means the kripa of the Lord comes. And the devotee can really feel the bliss, because that then what happens? Then he can feel Nayanam galadashrudharaya vadanam gadgadaruddaya gira. Pulakair nichitam vapukkada tavanama grhamane bhavishyati. My hairs can stand on, and the tears can flow from my eyes. But as long as I am having the false ego that I am Indian, I have so many upadhis. I am black, I am white, I am American, I am Indian, I am a project manager, I am the president of the country. I have so many upadhis. As long as I have that, I have not reached even the state of Nadhanam na janam na sundari. So we have to develop the quality of humility. We have to give up our false ego. We have to develop the quality of gratitude, compassion. So these are all like sadhava sadhu bhushana. Abhushana means this ornament in the body of the devotee. These qualities were very beautiful. It makes the devotee very attractive. That is because these are the qualities which Krishna is having in unlimited form. When devotees are qualitatively, they are adopting these qualities, devotees also become attractive. And one can achieve the highest perfection of life when one is free from all false ego, and one who has realized that I am the servant of Lord Krishna. Then prema pumartho mahan, one can achieve the highest perfection of life. And this happens by the mercy of devotees, because devotees help us in overcoming this false ego, purification of the false ego. So by Srila Prabhupada's mercy, we have got this wonderful movement, where we can purify all our existence, the senses, the mind, the intelligence, the false ego, and entire existence, and then offer ourselves completely to Lord. Like we become the puppet in the hands of our Guru and previous acharyas, so that they can utilize us how they want us to serve. We just become the puppet in their hand. And Krishna Mora Pranadhana. Krishna is my life and soul. And in the same way, how Prachetas are praying that we do not desire anything other than your full satisfaction, in the same way, we have to also aspire that we also develop these selfless qualities, to serve Krishna selflessly, and for the pleasure of Guru, for the pleasure of Srila Prabhupada, for the pleasure of other Vaishnavas, and ultimately for the pleasure of Krishna. So in this way, we can give ourselves completely to perfect our life and go back home, back to Godhead in this very life. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you very much. If there are any questions or comments or corrections, most welcome.
Thank you so much, Madhavan Prabhu. You wonderfully, initially you started with how difficult this material world is, and then what we can do as sadhakas, as devotees, to practice that. We can, by having abhinashita shunya, we can please the Lord, and the Lord also gets pleased by that, and then he reciprocates. And then wonderful qualities also you mentioned that a devotee has to cultivate, groom, and that's how we can progress also. Thank you so much. I will unmute all the lines. Probably devotees can unmute themselves and then ask questions.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. It's very, very nice point you told us, the mercy of the devotees in their association will purify us. Prabhu, you have told one analogy, Prabhu, about the humility, gratitude, and chanting. You have compared it with the manure and watering. Can you please repeat that once again, Prabhu?
Yeah. So Guru gives the Bhakti Lata. This is the seed of Bhakti. So seed of Bhakti has to grow. So the analogy is, it will grow. It will pierce all the layers of material universe. We have different layers of Pancha Mahabhuta, water, earth, ether, water, fire, and then mind, intelligence, false ego. The final layer is the false ego. It breaks all the layers. It goes through the Viraja river, and then it ultimately goes through Brahma Jyoti and ultimately reaches the Goloka Vrindavana planet, that creeper. Then it reaches the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. And when it touches there, its lotus feet, then it starts giving the flower and the fruits, which means prayojana. That is the fruit. Fruit is the Krishna prema, is the fruit. Flowers and fruits. So actually, when one gets the Krishna prema, then there are things which one of the thing is, one is Sandrananda Visheshatma, that means spiritual bliss. Then Krishna Akshi, Krishna Akarshini. One is extremely attracted to Lord Krishna. So these are the things which you can read in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So this Bhakti Lata Bij, it is growing. So initially when it is Bhakti Lata Bij is given, then it will, this bija, how it grows, it first breaks and then something little things starts coming out. And then it has to grow. So initially you might have seen when it is small plant and all, they will give some, support so that the plant can grow very strongly, because it is initial, it is not very, strong, because little thing can disturb the plant. So the stick support, that support is needed. Then when the support is given, what happens when the plant holds that support? It also, the roots underneath, it starts growing deeper and stronger. So this humility, quality of humility is like that support, which gives the strength to the plant, one, to hold it. Second thing, when it holds, the roots grow deeper and stronger. So this, when we have more humility, our devotional practices won't be on the surface level. Surface level means what? It will be like you are practicing, but you are not, your heart is not much involved in the process of sadhana. You are casually doing your sadhana. When we are chanting, inattentive chanting, even inattentive chanting happening, we are not focusing to attentively hear. We are not carefully guarding against the offenses. These are the superficial practice. But when humility is there, then when roots grow deeper, deeper means what? Your practice becomes deeper. So practice become deeper means you are very careful in your chanting. When you are doing any services, you are carefully doing your services. When you are dealing with other Vaishnavas, you are very carefully guarding against Vaishnava aparad. So in this way, you are guarding. So that's guarding, because the anarthas will grow. These are the weeds will grow, and these anarthas and all aparadas, they are compared to these weeds. So kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya, and we might do some different type of aparadas, or we have so many conditioning. So all those things which might disturb the bhakti lata bij, bhakti lata, which when it is growing. So we have to guard against these. It's like you are removing the weeds, and in order that the bhakti lata bij, that bhakti lata grows, if you are the sand or whatever mud is there, if it is very, very hard, but if it is hard, how much ever water you put, it doesn't grow much. That's why the quality of gratitude, it is like trilling the, before you do the vyavasaya or whatever krishi you are doing there in the field, first you trill the this land, trilling the land. The quality of gratitude is like that, making the this soil very fertile, that is trilling, and the land is now very fertile, so that the bhakti lata can grow very easily. That is the compared to the quality of gratitude. But your land is fertile, you have the support, but without watering the plant, bhakti lata, it will die. So main thing, chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra and hearing Srimad Bhagavatam and reading Srimad Bhagavatam is like watering the plant. If you don't hear or if you don't chant, then the bhakti lata will die. So we have to water continuously. You have to water. And when you continuously water, your land is fertile. You have got the support in the humility, quality of humility is like the support. And then it grows. It breaks the material universe, breaks even the false ego, and it goes through Viraja river, pierces through the Brahma Jyoti, and reaches the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Bol, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Dandavad Pranam.
Dandavad Pranam. Hare Krishna.
Any other questions from devotees? Madhavan Prabhu, we also have Uttara Mataji and I think Saraswati Mataji are thanking you for the wonderful teachings and the class, Prabhu.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
So if there are no further questions, probably we can end the class in the session with the Vaishnava Pranams, Prabhuji. Ananta-koti Vaishnavrinda ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you so
I'll
much.
end the sessions and we'll meet tomorrow. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.